How you doing? My name's Nocturnal. I'm an ASC certified technician for the past 17 years. What I'm going to be helping you out with today is a tune-up and coils on a 2002 Ford Escape. Now this application applies to the Tribute, anything that has this dual V6 overhead cam motor. Now when you look under the hood, being a shade tree mechanic or just a hands-on type of person, whether it be male or female, I'm here to tell you that this is very simple, and with a few set of tools you can do this tune-up yourself, save yourself hundreds and hundreds of dollars. When you look under the hood, it's just a big collage of things, and you're like, man, I can't do this. I'm gonna have to take it to a dealer, or you take it to Midas, Monroe, Tuffy, Meineke, Firestone, Goodyear. I've worked for all of those places, and I know what those guys charge. Now, what we're going to start off with is the basic tools that you're going to need to do this job. And it's really, really simple, and I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to do it. I hope you enjoy this video. I've been waiting to make a video for so long because I love repairing vehicles, I love what I do, and I love people, and I just want to help you out. So I just want you to sit back, take your time, and we're going to fix this, and it's so quick. All right, we'll be back in a second. Back with Nocturnal Repair. The few simple tools I was telling you about. You're going to need a 3/8 extension. That would be this one here, and you're also going to need a 10mm tall socket, 3/8, a short 10mm 3/8 socket, a long 3/8 8mm socket, a 3/8 wrench, preferably long if you have one. If not, it's okay. And then I have a real short one here for tight spaces, which is a 3/8. All of these sockets and tools are 3/8. Then you're going to need a flathead screwdriver, and then we have here is a bungee cord. Yes, a bungee cord, and we'll show you a little bit later exactly what that bungee cord is going to be used for. Like I said, this repair is going to be so simple, you're going to be glad you watched my video. Back in a second. And we're back with Nocturnal Repair. What we have here is a 2002 Ford Escape. It is the V6 motor, dual overhead cam, 3.0. And like I said, when you look under the hood, you just see so many things, but just don't be intimidated, because I'm going to show you how to do this directly, quickly, efficiently, and you really don't have to be a, what is the term, a rocket science, a rocket scientist to do this. So basically, I've already taken off the bolts, which usually are a 10mm or an 8mm, to remove this cover. And I'm going to remove the cover now because I've already taken the bolts off, and we just kind of set that aside. As you see, we have 3 coils in the front here. Your plugs are located there, and then we have 3 coils in the rear here. The tune-up is, well, it's set up for V6, and you have 3 coils in the front, again 3 coils in the rear, and this is what is known as coil over plug. You have direct ignition, which is a system that uses just coils, and then you have a distributor ignition, which uses a distributor, a pickup, ignition control module, all that good stuff. But we don't have that on this vehicle. All we have is 6 coils, 3 in the front, 3 in the back. Now we're going to start off with taking the air cleaner off here, and basically using that flathead screwdriver, and you just want to hit this bolt here, and unplug the mass airflow sensor. And then you're also going to take off this emissions hose. So let me do that for you and I'll be right back. Now that we have our air cleaner hose off, you just kind of set the hoses aside. The emission hose, just kind of set this aside, and here's the other one, just kind of set it aside, just out of your way of your work area here. Next we're going to start off with these 8mm bolts. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, then you have 5, then there's 6, 7, 8. These actually hold on the intake. Okay, intake, we can call it plenum, whatever you want to call it, but there's different terms for this. And also we're going to take off this 8mm bolt here, this one here, and this one here, and these hold your throttle cable and also your cruise control. Cruise control is over here, this small box here. And then we're going to take off two 10mm bolts, which are located on the EGR valve. EGR valve stands for exhaust recirculation valve. Basically what it does is it takes unburned gases and sends them back through the emission system, and that basically registers on a computer. It tells the computer exactly how the car is running and all of that good stuff. We'll be right back. Let me take those bolts off for you. And also we have a few plugs here that we're going to take off. One is on the idle air control motor, which is normally known as an IAC valve, and then we have a throttle positioning sensor, also known as a TPS, and we just want to unplug those for now, and so we can get at this thing. This is going to be really simple. Again, we have 8mm bolts here that we're going to take off, and we have a few plugs here and two 10mm bolts back here to disengage the EGR valve from the plenum, and we'll be right back. Now, sorry it took so long. I dropped a bolt. You really don't want to drop any bolts doing this job, because if a bolt goes down inside the intake, it could be bad news if you don't recognize it or don't find it. So what I usually do is I take my bolts and I put them in any kind of tray. Here I'm using a oil greased band clamp tray. Looks like blood. Oh, it's not blood, that's oil. But anyway, these are the two 10mm bolts from the EGR, and this is the EGR gasket. Be careful when you take the first bolt out. That's okay, but as you're taking the second bolt out, that's why you need the tall 10mm, because the very first bolt you can use the shorty, and you just kind of want to wrap your hands around the EGR valve, and when you get the last bolt out, this will fall out. This is completely reusable. These smaller 8mm bolts are from the throttle cable and the acceleration cable. See, like this. I left this here on purpose. This is a common mistake where bolts aren't taken completely out. If this drops down inside the intake and you don't recognize it and you go to start it up, you can pretty much guarantee yourself a new motor. Or head or valves, because this to get trapped down inside where it'll cause a valve not to close or open, and it'll make a really loud noise, and then you're buying a motor, and you don't want to buy a motor because these things are $1,500 to $2,000. So let me put this back over here. That'll go there. And you'll see that we got the EGR valve off. It's completely fine to just leave it right there, and you can also leave the vacuum to the EGR valve on. We've got our plugs off of our idle air control motor and our throttle positioning sensor, and you can see that I've got the 8mm bolts loose in here on the plenum. Now these bolts is completely fine to leave them in because they have locking mechanisms in the back where these won't pop out. So there's just one more thing to do, and then you'll see some coils in the back here because they're completely buried. Now there's the main wiring harness here, which actually has a bracket that attaches to the intake, which is here. Okay, we just need to disengage that, and then we'll lift this plenum up and you'll see some coils in the back. We'll be right back. Now I have simply just removed this bracket from this stud, which is right here. Let me shine some light on this situation. There's a stud right back here. If you can see it, it's a little hard to see, but at any rate, it's right down here. And basically, you just need to take this bracket and move it off of that stud right there. There it goes. There's a good picture. Just kind of move it off. Now, unbelievably, we are ready to see some coils. And I'm gonna stop the video here in a second because I'm gonna just show you what you need to do here. This intake comes completely up, okay? And next is our next handy dandy tool, if I can find it. Oh, good grief, what did we do with it? Oh, I brought it to the car already. We're going to use this here. So we'll be back in a second and I'll show you what to do with this bungee cord. We're back. I apologize. We're going to need 2 bungee cords because I want to make sure that you do this most efficiently. And basically what I've done is ran one over here to this wire here, which is pretty sturdy. You don't have to worry about breaking it. And just ran it up under the plenum and connected it, and then just kind of, oh, that's going to go into the bloopers. Crap, don't laugh at me. Yeah, just kind of connected it over there, and now we see our other 3 coils. Very easy to get to. These coils have 8mm bolts on them, and basically all we need to do is disconnect the harnesses to each coil and lift the coils up, replace the spark plugs, put the coils back on, and we're good to go. The reason we are changing these is because these are common for misfire, and the misfire is normally the coils and not so much the spark plugs and or injectors. So basically I'm getting ready to show you which parts you need, and we'll be right back. I must apologize. I never once told you guys the firing order of this 3.0. In relation, you're standing here, which is the front of the vehicle, of course, and then this is going to be the belt side, which is over here. This is coil number 1, 2, and 3, and so on and so forth. We're going to be replacing coil number 1, which is here, and then coil number 4, which is here. They both have a intermittent where they're not sparking properly, and as you can see from the firing order, it fires 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6. So that's where we're getting our misfire from, and you can find these coils anywhere at your local auto parts store and or online. What we have here is a set of Motorcraft spark plugs. They are platinum because you don't want to do this again. You don't want to put cheap plugs in it. If you want to get back and forth to work, you know, get the good stuff. You know, spend a little bit of money. You can never ever go inexpensive on something that's going to make you money, and that is your vehicle. And these here are the plenum gaskets. We'll show you that here. The plenum gaskets are located here. Basically, you just need to get something really sharp. Be careful not to scratch the plastic, and we just need to pull those out. I can show you here really simply on how those are pulled out. Let me go over here to my box. It's a little messy here, but most shops are. That means you're doing work, you know, so I can't be clean all the time. So what I've got here is a pick. It's got a little glue on it, a little RV sealant, but it still works. And basically you want to just stick that up in there, and let me get closer here. Just want to stick that up in there, and boom, the crack. Be careful and make sure that you get the whole complete gasket out. And then what you want to do is just take a new gasket and simply just stick it back up there, like so. Make sure that you got it nice and flush. And this is basically going to give us a good seal when we go to put this back down. This gasket set was really inexpensive, but you want to do all 6. And again, it was really inexpensive, and you want to make sure you have a good seal, because if you get any leaks, you'll still have a misfire, because the computer will give it either too much fuel or not enough fuel, and you'll still have a misfire. But again, here's our parts. We got 2 coils here, and we also have 6 spark plugs, Motorcraft, and then we have some Velcro gaskets for the plenum. Here's the part number for the intake manifold upper set, which you get 6 in. You can look it up online and find them if you want to do them cheaper, if you plan on doing this job a little later on, you know, and just want to have the parts on deck. And again, like I said, this covers 2001 to 4 on any Ford dual overhead cam V6. This will cover it. Okay, so now we're going to take these coils off and get into the spark plugs. Again, these coils have 8mm bolts on them, so you just want to get your 8mm in there and unloosen the screw. Careful to not drop the screw inside the intake. And these are the holes I was talking about earlier. If you drop a bolt down here, it's going to be pretty tough for you to retrieve them. You might have to take the whole intake off in order to get it, which is the lower intake. So be careful not to drop any bolts. Usually I stick rags down here, but now that I'm telling you, you can do the same. That way you don't drop any tools or anything down into these holes, because it'll be pretty bad. So I'm gonna get these plugs and coils off, and we'll be right back. Thank you for joining me, by the way. Okay, we're back. As you can see, I've got all my gaskets installed. I've got a new number 1 and number 1 and number 4 ignition coil over, shall we say, installed. New spark plugs. The spark plug gap on these are usually located here on your hood on a little sticker. I don't know if you can see that, but the spark plug gap is 0.52 to 0.56. So always inspect your spark plugs when you take them out the box to make sure that they're properly gapped. And there was one more tool that I forgot to mention, which is your spark plug socket. You can't get a spark plug well without a spark plug socket. So we're going to continue on with this project, and basically we're going to go ahead and put this back together and see how she runs. Again, this was a really simple repair. It may look a little intimidating, but you know, you take your time, put your bolts in the right spot, and everything will be fine. We'll be back shortly and start this bad boy up. See you in a minute. And here's our end result. Smooth as a baby's you know what. I ask that you please give me any feedback on the video, and also you can follow me or subscribe to me I'm willing to answer any questions on any automotive questions that you may have, just because I like doing this and I like helping people out, because I know how much these repairs can be. So I appreciate your time that you spent with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. It is my first video, so it's probably going to be a little long, but it probably was a little long, but I appreciate your time, and I hope your repair goes well. Nocturnal Repair. We'll see you again. Thank you.